You made the heavens, planted the earth, gave us stars for direction. But what was it worth if we don't have love? Oh, your perfect love. You filled the oceans, painted the sky, gave us each other. So tell me why, why we're lacking love. Oh, why we're lacking love. Oh, can't you see the darkness trying to divide? Yeah, you know it's up to us to keep shining bright and let our hearts stay lifted high. Oh, can't you see the darkness trying to divide? My Lord, you know it's up to us to keep shining bright and let our hearts stay lifted high. Oh, you can prophesy, speak in the tongues you made, but if you don't have compassion, how will they understand that we were made from love? Oh, we were made from love. Oh, yeah. Oh, can't you see the darkness trying to divide? My Lord, you know it's up to us to keep shining bright and let our hearts stay lifted high. Oh, can't you see the darkness trying to divide? Oh, you know it's up to us to keep shining bright and let our hearts stay lifted high. Time to spread more love. Oh, perfect love. Supernatural love. Your love.
Good morning and welcome to Spirituality Gone Wild. I'm Debbie G, and it's time for Cuppa Grata with a shot of expression and 2 squirts of reality. And today I have a dynamic co-squirt whom I had a healing session with yesterday, and it was extraordinary. Today you're going to learn all about some new ways to take a deep dive into healing that body of yours and everything else that's needing it, whatever the case may be. Maureen Edwardson, welcome her to Spirituality Gone Wild. And you are the originator of the Inner Resonance Technologies, IRT, and you've been studying and evolving and sharing the IRT protocol, fully explained in your book, The Magical Evolutionary Code Unleashed, The Science of Inner Resonance, for 30 years. And you've shared these teachings internationally, including the U.S. Bureau of Indian Affairs, national conferences, U.S. tribal school trainings with shamans, so on and so forth. You've also worked with all of the greats that are out there, from Bruce Lipton, Greg Braden, all of them. You work with all of them, which is beautiful, because the science of epigenetics is really what we're looking at. We're looking at our belief systems. We're also looking at the ability and the power in order to heal. But I got to tell you, yesterday, well, by the way, hello, Maureen. I'm not just going to keep talking. I'm so excited, seriously, about my healing with you yesterday that I want to tell everybody, like, oh my God, this is so cool. You got to hear me. Good morning.
Thank you,
Grata.
thank you. Yes. All love. We love our
All
Cuppa.
supernatural love. True Osborne. Wasn't he a delight?
Totally.
Oh, I love him. He's a special human being for sure.
I agree.
So are you, Maureen. And yesterday I was able to experience you privately and over Zoom, everybody, so that you know that you can do this anywhere that you are in the world. And it was a giddy feeling I was having by last night. It was giddy. I don't know, like Miranda said, or, you know, I don't know what it is you do, but you do it. And there is not really a human word for it, but there is. It's called the shift. It's called a shift. It's called going from one space to another space, and there is just nothing heavy anymore. It's just free. It's light. It's supernatural. Supernatural.
That's what we say about British Columbia, supernatural British Columbia. That's where I live.
You know, I'm going to tell you, I think Canada looks like the most beautiful place in the world. I have watched all of that series Heartland, where and I'm just so in love with the rolling green fields that there are there, and the magical people. I have never met a Canadian I am not in love with, seriously. Really, I love you guys. You really you are you in
Well,
particular.
I'm grateful then to be Canadian because I love your love.
I'm just digging this. Now we're gonna take a deep dive into what how did you get into this work? And then I want you to explain to everybody what this is. Oh, my husband's on. Good morning, hun.
Good morning.
She told me the healing was awesome last night. Thank you for that, Maureen.
Thank you.
Yeah, huge, especially because I just went through an iron transfusion last Friday, and they put a lot of steroids in my body. And because I've had reactions to getting iron before. So I was really anemic, everybody, and Marina was just like no iron stores left to speak of in my body. There's zero.
Wow.
They're undetectable. And there's a lot of things that happen when you're in that, when you're there. So I'm going to tell you, like, it was really a beautiful clearing, but I feel like it really came in and started clearing out the muck from not the iron they had to give me, but the stuff they had to give me to not react to it. So I just felt so much lighter yesterday, and I thank you for that. Why is that anyway? Why is it that my whole body, and we're going to get into that so you could explain to people because it's quite miraculous.
It is miraculous, but that's who we are. And you don't have to believe it. You know, my tagline is beyond belief, creating new realities, simply because it's science and it's who we are and how it's built. And by the way, I didn't do anything to you. I don't do anything to anyone. I built the system based on the science and the understandings and, you know, all these years of experience, which, you know, has refined it. So, you know, people like yourself and my students have actually co-develop this with me because it's in the process of being and doing that the revelations happen and the ahas and the, you know, I'm a dot connector. I'm a networker like you, but I connect the dots and I interrelate information and I ask questions that nobody else thinks to ask because they already know in their field. Well, I knew nothing. I'm not credentialed, you know, scientifically or medically in any field. However, you know, I have a PhD in several fields simply from self-study and direct experience. So I'm really grateful for the ability, and I guess that is my passion, my purpose, and that's why I'm here in this lifetime at this time of the great shift. So facilitating great shifts in each individual and with groups. So it's phenomenal. And the reason, you know, why your dear one is especially grateful is because he got it too, because all the people that were heart and DNA connected with when we go into the you know, IRT protocol have instant and spontaneous opportunity to shift at a level that they're ready without even knowing it. So people in your whole world and the whole world get it, because we know that a single act of positivity uh, ripples like the butterfly effect. However, those influenced more greatly are the ones that are closest to us energetically. So this is how we shift together. And so I love that because I've worked in tribal schools and communities where everybody's related. And that's super cool because then you can see all of the, all the changes happening organically and automatically. It's like a whole community just goes, ooh, ooh.
Oh, I bet it's got to be so cool. That really has to be something to observe. I want to say good morning to everybody. Hello, hello, Kristen, and we said good morning to Joe. And Facebook user loves Canadians, and the Canadians are the best. I mean, yeah, seriously, even their bacon's really good. I mean, just
That is
Canadian bacon. Seriously, really. Oh my God. Um, good morning, Luke. Good morning. Good morning, Kelly Bird. Listen, for all of you that are on right now, Maureen's going to be taking you through a beautiful journey here in a little while. So please share this out and stay here with us because you're going to absolutely love it. But first, she's going to talk about what IRT is, how she got into it. So don't leave because you're going to go through a really magical experience, somewhat like I did yesterday.
exactly. Exactly. And so how did I get into it? Well, like most things, it's our own journey that prompts us forward. And I was in a very difficult relationship. I had no clue who I was. I was in my 40s by this time, maybe late 30s. And I'm not one of these people that had the big megaphone, that was listening to spirit from the, moment I popped out. you know, none of the above, right? So like I had no clue. And so it was desperation, like many of us, that guides the way to the next unfoldment. So anyway, yeah, I went to see a psychiatrist to find out what was wrong with me, why I was still in this abusive relationship, and so and he actually referred me to a woman that did hands-on healing, which was
Oh,
phenomenal from a psychiatric point of view.
pretty
And
awesome stuff right
yeah,
there.
yeah, it was
Wow.
awesome. So, Spirit's always guiding us into the right place for us. And then eventually we actually kind of figure that out, saying, oh, yeah, everything's okay. I will be guided and I will get the next step as I want and need it. So I've developed all of this through curiosity. And I think also what was innate within me. And I often tell people, my hand is my credential. This line is the simian line, the headline. I don't know very much about palmistry, but apparently I've mastered the mind in other lifetimes. And honest to God, when someone told me, well, several people told me that, I just laughed my butt off. I mean, I'm surprised that I even have one left. And
That is so hilarious.
it
Oh my
was
God.
really super hilarious.
Wow. And you kept having people tell you the same thing.
Yeah. So
I
that's
love that.
I pay attention. I still went, whatever, whatever. But the curiosity guides the way. And I think that's the key for everyone. Follow your curiosity, follow your bliss, but follow your curiosity, which leads to your bliss. And so basically I developed this protocol that's been refined and embedded with so much. I've got a lot of background and training because I just followed what I was curious about, and then found the fundamentals and the concepts of what is underlying that matrix of our potential. And that's where things really started to activate. So I was always in wonder, I was always in awe. I remember years ago seeing a TV show with Bill Moyers and who's the Follow Your Bliss guy? I'm sorry. We know Joseph Campbell. And
Yes.
yeah. And then they were interviewing all these spiritual leaders from all over the world. And so they were interviewing this one guy. And I'm saying, to my own self, it's saying, when am I going to get so much faith and so much knowing that I'm not surprised, that I'm not in this place of awe? Like, when am I going to just take this for granted? And what's wrong with me? Where's my lack of faith? And yet he was saying, this particular spiritual leader, we all want to get into that place of awe and stay there. And I'm like, and I've been trying to escape, thinking it was a lack of something. But no, when we live in that gratitude, that awe, that appreciation, that is the juice of life. And that is what brings us and aligns us with all good and all of our greatest path and our joy. So yeah, so I, just like, my inner child, I was, apparently called Peter Pan a lot because I never really grew up. And then I heard about an out of body experience, and I went, wow, that'd be cool. And yet I found out by exploring that I've been looking for an in body experience because of my childhood abuse. I'd been out of my body most of my life, which is why I didn't even know who I was.
Oh,
So,
stop right there. Stop right there. That's big. I resonate with that so big. And I'm sure that there's some people here watching right now. If you've ever experienced abuse, you may be spending a lot of time out of your body. And I never even understood, Maureen, what it meant to get in my body till I finally got in my body and then went, oh, being present, that's what we're here to do. We're not here to escape. That escapism
mhm.
is definitely a trauma trigger. So yeah, keep going though. I just want
Yeah.
everybody who's resonating with this to listen.
Yes, because it's that beam me up, Scotty thing. I want out of here. And yet, what we want is to be able to clear all the resistance to being here now and then allow us to be present. And that's the safest place to be, is present, because that's where the body gets all the signals and the discernment and the prompts to take the next step. And so when we have all the static and all this interference in our field, it's impossible to be present. And we then disconnect from source, which depletes us, which allows dis-ease, to happen. And so IRT is a very simple formula. It underwhelms people because it's so simple.
It
And
underwhelms.
yeah, underwhelms.
Underwhelms.
Mhm. Because there's nothing to know, there's nothing to think about, there's nothing to do. Um, and yeah, it's everything to allow. And so it's a formula of seven questions, or they vary. A formula of questions that acts as a catalyst to wake up the part of you that does know, your super conscious, your higher self. And then you call in whatever you have as your spiritual support team, and then you just allow, and you make agreements that whatever happens is happening in a safe and appropriate way, and easily and gently, and opening up to the concept of effortless grace. You may not believe any of this, but you just say yes and open to a different possibility. And then while making those agreements, that is why I think this work is so profound. It puts you in charge. And then you know that nobody's going to do anything to you or for you that you're not ready for, well, at all. And only what you allow will be what you're ready for. And I love that. And then at the end of the experience, I guide people through anchoring a switch, a reactivation switch, so that you can access the end result chemistry. Because we do meditation to get to a good feeling place. We go and dance, we go have fun, and we do all these external things to prompt that good feeling. Excuse me. So what if it's already there within us, and we can clear the way of whatever is that next wave, that's doing
Right.
this to us, and then the next wave, right, called life. What if we can moderate and mediate that? What if we could command our own personal universe? Like, wow, what a concept. And that's what unified field theory physics teaches us. And that's what Bruce Lipton's work, Biology of Belief, teaches us, that we actually are consciousness commands our reality. And even though we know that, intellectually, that we're, at least those of us that have been learning and studying these sciences and these principles, but who has that ability to actually tap in instantly at any moment that they choose. So this is one tool that allows you to do that. So you can then, after you've gone through the protocol even once, even today, as I guide people through a quick version, that's the gold. I call that the nutshell version from the nut, but it's the golden nugget. And then you'll have a spot somewhere, tug of the roof of your mouth, your heart, something you can activate. Just like it's like a super duper defrag antiviral program for your supercomputer. And so then you get to have an icon somewhere on your desktop, and then activate it whenever you need it, or actually I recommend that you faithfully do this twice a day to keep building the strength of those pathways. And it's not just your brain, but it's your whole source connection. And what it does is address all the information in your field where all these signals come from. So it's not about changing, well, it is all about changing your brain and changing, having your heart brain coherence and addressing the conscious and the subconscious. However, this is another level, another piece that fits in with all of everything else you're already doing, no matter what your modality, and whether it's music that takes you into that wonderful place of coherence and harmony. And so this, anytime you're actually experiencing a beautiful event or a beautiful moment, you get to add that into your touch breath. And so you're building on the frequency of the goodness all the time. And in that same moment, you're also not just addressing what is erupting in that moment or presenting itself as, something that needs to be attended to or dealt with. You actually are, it's like a doorway to everything and all of everything that is, because everything's connected and everything's part of everything else. So your higher self is quantum. It has no time, has no space. So all of your lifetimes are present here now. All of your history in this life is present here now. We know this because all of a sudden we'll bounce them along and something we'll see, a neighborhood clock or something, I've got a clock tower, and who knows, maybe somebody was attacked at night and they've sort of repressed all that, but they kind of go bouncing along and they pass this clock and go, oh my God, I feel terrible. Like, oh, and what the heck's wrong with you today? And blah, 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 and then they go into all this disconnection. And what it is, it's just a flashback that they're not even aware of. So we're triggered all the time and we don't even understand or know. So yeah, so your touch breath, addresses all of that in the field, not only just the causal levels, but everything that's become associated, connected with that becomes a trigger. So how sweet is that we can allow that preemptive shift and neutralization of anything in the background at the same time that we're dealing with a current circumstance that is not optimal. So it allows us a faster track, and it allows the opportunity. Some people sometimes have seen this as a spiritual bypass. It's not at all. It actually is quite the opposite, because it clears anything that's not relevant or essential to you on any level. It gives opportunity for things to clear.
Oh, I love this, but I want to address this really quickly. Spiritual bypassing, or the idea that it has to hurt or be hard. I've had enough hurt, enough hard. Have we not? Can we get an amen? I mean, for real. We've had enough of the things that we perceive as being difficult, and when they're all just experiences anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So why not choose the type of experience that you prefer? Why not choose the experience? If you're getting out, it's stuck energy. It doesn't mean we need to be in the stuck energy again. It just needs to get out of the stuck place it's in. It's been hiding in there. It's it's in the nooks and crannies. That's what you did yesterday. You cleaned out my nooks and my crannies. Anybody else?
You cleaned out your nooks and crannies.
I clean. Let me just agree with you there as well, because each individual, we heal ourselves. Maureen is a guide. When I've done healing sessions with people, I'm only a guide. I'm not actually doing it either, because I am the one saying yes. And this is what I love about what you're doing, is because it is just a simple yes that you're saying, and you don't need to understand. You don't need anything. You just need to allow. So I'm curious, who's watching? Who's going to say yes to going through an experience here with Maureen? Now, Maureen, I'm curious, like when you were working with the indigenous tribes and whatnot, what was their feedback? I mean, they do some magical healing, and they've brought so much from the earth and from spirit and the mountain. They're just so in tune with life, What did they say? What did they say when you brought this?
Well, they totally loved it. It's totally in alignment and in resonance with their teachings and their way of being. And there's less resistance because they already know all this. So I'm just offering them a way to clear all their intergenerational trauma without having to revisit it and without having to re-experience anything. And so they are our teachers. And I just always love the opportunities to work with First Nations and Indigenous people everywhere, because it's like a laser through hot butter. It's effortless, beyond effortless. And people have totally dissolved tumors in their body, in the space of a session, a few minutes, and healed broken bones. They're already there. They know this, and they've got the program alive and well. So they just need, they've just needed an access, right?
I got to jump in. My skin is better today.
Oh, excellent.
My skin is better today. It's healing. It was like noticing my hands. I'm like, looking better. Good. Okay.
And when it gets better, it stays better because it's clearing out the causal levels and everything that's a trigger to it. So yeah, it's instant and permanent. That's another agreement that you make for what's ready.
Yes, instant and permanent. So type yes to the chat if you are ready to go. You're going to need to be in a relaxed space. So you don't want to be driving your car or doing any of those things, because I'm sure that the other cars probably wouldn't appreciate it if you crash into it.
Actually, this is different. This is very, very different. You can be driving a car. It doesn't matter where you are.
Oh, well, I'm wrong on that. Go for it.
Well, this is a different paradigm, and it's understandable because that's how we normally
good.
Yeah. So you could be in a noisy cafe or in a lineup for coffee.
Yeah.
And placing your order, and even the people are saying, no, I'm not really, I'm not going to participate. Well, guess what? Their subconscious knows it better, and their higher self knows differently, and so you still get it, even if you don't think you want it or you're open to it. It all happens because it's just who we are, and we all want freedom. We all want to feel good, right? Feeling good. Remember Wayne Dyer, feeling, good is just God with an extra O, and so we want to feel.
I love that. Good is just God with an extra O. Oh gosh, I love Wayne Dyer. In fact, I feel, I love him so much, and he's just, I love him.
Mm-hmm. And change your thoughts, change your life. When you clear everything that is influencing your thoughts and where your negative thoughts come from, automatically your thoughts start to change. Well,
I felt led to open this, and it just simply says, the poet Hafiz expresses this attitude perfectly. Everyone is God speaking. Why not be polite and listen to him? Stop the chase and be a witness. And with that, I'm going to hand this over to those of you watching or just joining. Maureen is going to guide you through a really special, very, very special experience. I'm going to be behind the scenes here watching it, but I want to give the full attention to Maureen, and I don't want to be a distraction for any of you. So take it away. I'm getting giddy. I know what's coming. So
and it just opens us to being happy for no reason, and for all the good reasons as well. So I love that. In fact, just a very quick story for everybody, and that is, I worked with this woman. I did a complimentary session for her. She was a teacher, just lost her job beginning of COVID, and she was born in a really depressed and anxious chemistry of her mom, and then into the environment, which she'd never had a full complementary positive brain chemistry. She didn't know what that was. So first of all, she remembered she was on antidepressants, and but anyway, she was curious, and so I took her through a session, and she had so much cognitive dissonance. She couldn't believe. She said, I feel really, really weird. I feel so weird right now. And I said, well, how would you describe it? She said, well, I'm happy. But there's no reason for me to be happy. This is just weird. And so, she never did more sessions with me. I offered her another 2 because I saw how responsive she was. And everybody deserves to be themselves and be happy for no reason. And she couldn't do it. She wasn't ready. But that's, she didn't believe it. She experienced it even so. So get ready, to experience something that is beyond your expectations.
I love this. And I want to mention, by the way, that on Maureen's website, she has a couple of freebies and you do complimentary sessions as well. So just wanted to let everybody know. But I also want to talk further, though, about what the packages are and stuff like that later. But I also want to say she does a complimentary session and I can't wait for more, quite honestly. All right. I am going to go behind the scenes. Take it
I'll
away.
let you go this time. All right, so let's just take a breath. And remembering as you breathe, and breathing any old way, it doesn't matter how you're breathing, remembering that that is the breath of life, and that is the breath of source. And we are spirit breathing ourselves into our body. So we are part of and one with Great Spirit, whatever name we want to put on it, source energy. It's a source of the all of everything that is in the oneness that we speak of. So acknowledging and remembering the truth of who you really are through your breath, breathing in and out just so gently and effortlessly. And an opportunity to now, whatever you believe, to invoke and call in, saying yes and thank you to your spiritual team, your angels, your spirit guides, whatever that may be for you. And keep it simple. They know who they are. Yes and thank you. All these questions are designed for yes and thank you with gratitude. What a concept. And now just noticing where your body is touching the world around you, because your body has all the programs to heal itself. Even our medical system will say that. They give people drugs and cut things in and out and whatever they do, replace parts to help the body heal itself. And so this is all of your inner technologies, all of your inner ability to heal yourself from within, which is pretty amazing. And so let's just switch on our body's full receptivity, because our body has all these pathways and programs, as we say, that know how to self-heal, but trauma, pain, programs, beliefs tend to shut them down or narrow our connection. So you're going to laugh, but just play along with me, please. And the operative words simply are switch on body. So I'm going to count to 3 and let's just all say it together, because it's much more fun to do that. 1, 2, 3. Switch on body. Alrighty, so you're plugged into your greater source. You've switched on your communication device, which receives the signals of wholeness and knows how to work with spirit and higher consciousness to dissolve and neutralize anything that's no longer relevant, anything that is creating static and interference unnecessarily in your life at this time, freeing up your energy to be happy for no reason and be inspired and creative and connected in a whole different way than what we may have even experienced. So now we'll just go into a collective intention. Again, I don't normally use the word intention because it's a future word. I intend to do, have, or be. So let us just allow and choose that all issues, all unresolved issues, known and unknown, on all levels of our being, and any ways those unresolved issues may be interfering with us and unnecessarily, physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, financially, and relationships of every kind. Everything's connected, but most particularly that relationship with our own greater self and our connection with Source, which is truly who we are. And so now allowing all levels of memory, your whole life, all the ancestral memory of your DNA that no longer you need to drag forward, wasn't yours to start with, and all your soul memory, past, present, future, all the memory of the planet, because guess what? We're breathing part of everything and everybody that's ever been alive. So we're breathing in molecules of memory, say the scientists, from the beginning of time. So physically, we are one by breathing molecules of memory. And then including the galactic memory, whatever that might be for you, and cosmic memory, opening up the door really, really wide. And so allowing all of your multidimensional selves to be coherently realigned with that next level of expression of who you truly are, your grandest self, your higher self, to allow whatever is in your way to dissolve. And so allowing a whole new expression of being happy for no reason, being completely healthy in every way, wholeness, abundant. Who's struggling in whatever way you're struggling? Abundance in every kind. And really excited about your gifts and how you can share them in service to the greater good, because we're all being asked to show up right now. Each one of us have gifts to contribute to the greater good. And so now, are you choosing to allow all this to unfold in the safest and most appropriate ways for you and all concerned at all times? Yes, that's the right answer. Are you choosing to allow greater ease and gentleness? Because we sure know all about the struggle. And you may not even believe it's possible to shift in easy, gentle ways. Maybe that's never happened to you. All you have to do is be open to the possibility and opening to effortless grace for instant and permanent shift of what no longer is relevant or serving any useful, positive purpose for you on any level of your being. And we're asking for whatever is left over, not to be disappointed, but to trust at a deeper level that everything is unfolding in its own time, in its own way, in that bigger picture that we don't have yet. And are you allowing the part of you that's open to saying yes to all of this, that's willing to be open to all of this, to be in charge? And are you allowing the part of you that's ready to be more of yourself than ever before to also be in charge? And are you open to something different being possible in a different way than what you may have ever experienced to also be in charge? Yes. And so one last question, are you allowing the part of you that knows how the heck to go do all this, the freedom to go play in that great mystery in the field where it already exists, where your greatest self already exists, and allow beyond your conscious mind's ability to track or need to think or do or change anything at this moment, and beyond your body's need to act anything out or process anything unnecessarily. This is all happening in our field, okay? Just to reiterate that. And so now, as I speak, everything is getting shifted in the background. And while that's happening, much like cyberspace in a computer, we get to surf the web. We get to bliss out somewhere or have a short nap. It's not happening at the conscious level in this moment. It's beyond into the superconscious. And everything is getting shifted and neutralized, released, let go. Everything's getting rebalanced. Homeostasis is reasserting itself, harmonizing in ways that we can't even understand or grasp until we see the results and go, wow, interesting. Look who I got a call from today. Everything's realigning with you and your greatest self. And all of your gifts are activating. All of your love is fully present for you. And just allowing yourself to just hang out wherever your mind wants to be. Remembering this is happening beyond your awareness, mentally or physically. And because this is beyond time, our quantum self has no time. Everything goes poof. And we have in this moment together a limited conscious time. Then I would invite you to notice how you're feeling. Are you a bit more relaxed? Deeply relaxed? Are you feeling expanded? People go very deep very quickly, and you may not notice anything, and that's fine too. The results are in the living. So just if you're noticing any parts of you that are more relaxed, breathe in and out with that awareness. At the same time, you're thinking a thought of gratitude, adding that into this end result chemistry of what I call the chemistry of wholeness and the frequency of greater freedom to be more of yourself than ever before. And breathing in and out with awareness of your heart, finding a touch. Maybe it's the tongue on the roof of your mouth or a finger and thumb, where your hands already are, your heart. And as you're simultaneously streaming and marinating all these things together, your breath in and out of your heart center, 360, thoughts of gratitude, awareness of that deeper relaxed state, and your touch. I'm going to guide you through 5 deeper breaths to anchor in this new program of wholeness, of greater frequency, of your greater self. So you ready? Okay. Got your touch? All right. So your first breath in, you're touching. And breathing out, just letting go. Next breath in, touching. Breathing out, letting go. Number 3, breathing in. And breathing out, letting go. 4th breath in. Breathing out, letting go. And the 5th breath, letting go of your touch. And why 5? Subconscious likes the number 5. 5 is the number of positive change. It's a paradigm shifter. It's sacred geometry. It's the honeycomb, the perfect structure of nature. It's the number that scientists attributed to the ether, to consciousness, the 5th element. And more importantly, it's the number of grace. Isn't that beautiful? Mm-hmm. And the first time the subconscious gets something a little different, it goes, wow, how did that happen? How long is this going to last? It goes into doubt. It's so against anything and everything we've experienced so effortlessly. Got to work hard, right? Mm-hmm. How could this happen? So 2nd and 3rd time gets received on the logical and emotional sides of the brain. 4th is greater integration and acceptance. It's a nice little solid platform. But 5. This transformation. So how's everybody doing? How are you doing, Debbie G?
I am doing really well.
You're flashing in and out of reality. We are all apparently doing that, So every flash in and out of reality, we get to choose again when we're
My
present.
favorite part of this is the fact that you give a simple tool at the end that we can all use, just a spot that you can use to touch. And what I love is that there is a scientific thing to this, and that is your brain doing an action, setting it in. You've just reset all of your trauma points. You've
Yes.
reset all of your points to neutrality to move forward. That's why we're in joy and happiness. Oh, wow.
Yes. And you get insights. Anything that maybe was shifted out, you actually get the insights if you need them. And most of the time, when I ask people after, how they're feeling about a particular issue in a private session, they say, "Oh, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to me." And sometimes people say, "Oh, it was never a big deal," and it was like something that had encompassed their whole life. Oh, it was never really a big deal because it's so completely shifted.
It's remarkable. Luke, Luke, that was so seriously cool, right?
Yeah.
This is one of my dear, beautiful, sweet friends, Luke, and a Taya, Trust Your Abundance uh, group leader. And I absolutely just adore him. He is so sweet. I got to meet him in person too, which
Ooh.
was even better. But
Oh,
mhm.
I was gonna
uh,
say, yeah, yeah. You add that into whatever. Add your touch breath into all the other programs that you're doing and all of your blessings, and any other technique or body work or nutrition.
oh.
You do your touch breath before and after, and then it just puts everything into that those set of agreements and that matrix of instant and permanent. So sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I did.
Oh, I'm so glad you did because that was just awesome. I mean, okay, so we could add the touch breath in to anything and everything that we're doing. That is so wonderful. So that's your set point. Every single time you do it, that's your set point. So I'd like to know from other people who went through this experience, what are you feeling? What came up for you? Did you have anything you want to share? What I will say is I felt it I felt it a lot later in the evening. I felt it throughout the day. It was just I was just good. Like I was just good. Can't really think of anything I wasn't good about. Joe, did I get on to you about anything? Just out of curiosity.
It puts you in the flow, right? And we know about the flow.
It is a beautiful. It is. It puts you in the flow. It just
It's
it's
kind of
just
like
like
grease lightning.
it
Grease light.
was. It was. It was a good night. It was a good night. I agree. I agree. It was a great night. Like it was just really super. Just the allowing state, the allowingness of life is just such a beautiful place to be. It's really exciting. So what I want to tell everybody is I put the book to the complimentary. You can book a session with Maureen. It's in there. All right. You can go to her website and fill that out. But there's some other really great information that Maureen is going to share regarding sessions, regarding her book, and so much else. Oh, this is cool. Luke says I'm at work and was able to experience calmness. Mm,
Excellent.
working.
Hmm.
I thought that's what you meant. Working, working. Beautiful, Luke. I absolutely love that. Okay.
Great.
Okay.
Mhm.
Nice.
And so, yes, I have a special offer today that I don't normally offer anywhere. I haven't ever offered it before. And that is for the first 3 people that contact me through my website, um, MaureenEdwardson.com, through the contact form. Um, I will give them a special deal on a 5-session package because 5 is transformational. And one thing about a complimentary session, but the 5 package is like, wow, it's just like rocket fuel in your whole next reality. And normally a package of 5 is $1,555, and I'm offering it out for $999, which is a significance, very significant savings. So if anybody is able and up for that, you can take advantage of that offer for sure. And then, of course, anyone that contacts me, I would love to share my book with you. I'll give you a complimentary copy of my book. And as I'm able to have time and space, I do complimentary sessions with people. So yeah, so definitely I will, I'm sure, find the time for anyone and everyone. I trust that is always perfect. So let me know, and I'd love to play. It's really fun.
I'm having a blast with you. And what I have to ask you though, the jewelry you're wearing, are you there? It's
Oh,
mesmerizing.
well, thank you
What
for
is
asking.
this? It
Well,
looks like
this,
little angels in there.
well, you know what this is. This is from Titania, art by Titania .ca. Or Titania.ca. I think she's got a Facebook page as well. But
Oh,
this is woven.
stunning work. Stunning.
These are special beads. Some of them Schwarzschild crystals, but it's woven. It's all woven. She's knitted it, like she's woven it all
Oh,
together. I don't know if you see that around the back or not,
yeah.
but it's just really quite spectacular. She's a very
Wow,
special
that's
artist
awesome.
and a close friend of mine on Bowen Island. Yeah. So if you
Beautiful.
can't find her,
Mm,
just
mm.
contact me and I'll let you know. But yeah, and she didn't used to make earrings, or she just had tiny little little single beads, and I like bigger earrings, so she made these specially for me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, those are just I they are just stunning. I love them. They just look so pretty. I just had to ask.
Thank you. Yeah, and she does.
Looks
And Tarot by Titania. Also, she's so tuned in, and she does weekly influences of where we're at collectively, and she's always right on for me. Yeah.
I absolutely love this. Maureen, I would like to know if you were to think about somebody in your life that really you just hold such deep appreciation for, whether they're here or not, who would that be and why?
Oh my goodness, there's so many. I have so many people that I deeply, deeply appreciate. Quite the question. Um, Wow. Well, I have to say in this moment that my greatest teachers, my greatest appreciation goes out to my two daughters who are
Oh,
only parents with a toddler and a baby, two toddlers basically now, 2 and 3.5 years of age. And they're my greatest teachers. I'm not in a relationship at the moment. And so my children are my teachers and always have been. And so, what is it? There was a meme on Facebook yesterday that said, the people that irritate you the most are who you need to be most grateful for, because of signaling what is needing to be addressed in your own self. So there's nothing more honest than children towards their mother.
no,
And
there's not. That's period.
so that's an ongoing movable feast.
Always, always. And I
Opportunity.
love that.
Yeah, yeah. But I have so many people that I deeply appreciate from so much. And this is going to sound really odd, but what's coming into my mind, so I'm going to say it. My father, who was my sexual abuser, because of his act, and I believe, there's a book called Radical Forgiveness, in the sense that at a soul level we're creating, we're choosing, and we forget, and then we have all these soul agreements apparently, and so we're like the little soul in the sun, Donald Neil Walsh. What do you want to learn this lifetime? I really want to learn forgiveness. Oh, okay, well, you got to go find your best friend in heaven and have an agreement that he'll do all these dastardly things to you. So you'll really have to learn how to forgive at the optimal level. So that's where I feel, and my mother's death put me into that spiral of seeking and waking myself up, knowing who I was. So it was basically my greatest trauma was my greatest gift. And when that's resolved, you have nothing but gratitude for all the gifts. Because the truth is, there's a universal law that no matter how difficult a situation is, there are equal and greater gifts on the other side of it. And I have proved that over and over and over again. I'll be 73 next month. So, it's really I have so much gratitude for so much and so many people that I'm deeply appreciative for. Maybe I'll just go and make a list, after this.
I love that. The law of reciprocity. The law of reciprocity is the locomotion.
Hmm. Yes.
It's the locomotion of gratitude. It's
Mhm.
the engine. The
Mhm.
law of reciprocity. And I want to say that I am in alignment with your belief system so wholeheartedly that forgiveness, the forgiveness of the abuser, the forgiveness of the perpetrator, the forgiveness of anyone in your life that you've ever looked at as being a perpetrator, to look at them with a deep appreciation and to realize that they came here and gave up a really cool existence just to be your perpetrator. Now I know that sounds,
Yeah, I know.
honestly though, but yeah,
Yeah,
but you were right
yeah, and for a lot of
about
people, that's really hard to really acknowledge or understand. And yet, what's really cool about IRT is when you've had a trauma, and I take people through, and they don't have to re-experience or relive, but they put that into the quantum pot, if you will, and everything that is ready gets dissolved. And so, um, in almost every case, people come even after one session and say they have compassion and understanding for their perpetrator or whatever the situation or the condition was that happened to them that blew them out of the water for their whole life. So all of a sudden now
that.
they have understanding, compassion. That's phenomenal.
Big, it's huge, and which is why gratitude shifts your entire reality. Radical gratitude, radical appreciation, radical forgiveness, radical compassion, radical everything, everything. And the only reason that somebody would have a hard time with that is that the victim story is still serving them.
Well,
And that's okay too.
yeah, it is.
Doesn't matter. With this work though, what I love is that they're able to, because what I've heard you say is that it allows it to dissipate, and the understanding comes in without us having to figure it out. It just is. What's amazing is the understanding isn't what we thought the understanding would be. The understanding is this deep gratitude that happened. Like that whatever has happened in life, and here I am doing this thing, understanding, and here you are doing this thing. I mean, it's remarkable to me. It's remarkable, and I am in deep appreciation of you being here today, and for showing up, for doing this work, for coming out and being that light that helps us to see a little bit better.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. It's just such a joy. And it's my passion to share this with as many people as possible because, yeah, there is that light within us. And it's much easier to reveal it than we ever thought.
Mm, beautiful, beautiful. That was incredible. And I want to thank everybody that's either watching now or watched on the replay. And please feel free to type into the comments, no matter what platform you're on right now, and let us know how that this experience has resonated with you. Those are really important things for us to know. And also tell me, what do you want to see more of here on Spirituality Gone Wild and Cuppa Grata? What other fun things do you want? I know I bring it. I bring some cool people, obviously. So what more would you like? Please let me know and I will make sure to have that happen. And also watch Women Rising Saturday morning at 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 Eastern Time on Unify, here on Spirituality Gone Wild, and out there on YouTube land. Also, one more thing. Go to the link that I posted in the chat or any of the links that are in the description of this live stream, and you will have all of Maureen's information right at your handy dandy little fingertips. I made it easy peasy lemon squeezy. You have absolutely no reason, but if for some reason that didn't work for you, reach out to me personally and I'll make sure that you get to Maureen. Okay? There you go. Any last words?
For
Anything?
me,
Anything you any last words you want to leave them with before we go?
breathe in and out with love because that's who you are. And be grateful for all of it.
Mm, yes.
Before you sleep, when you wake up, anytime you get triggered, do your touch breath and breathe with love.
Got it. Touch breath. Woo! It was fantastic. Bye, everybody. Have a fabulous, fabulous Wednesday.